Well, I have that junk food should not be taxed because junk food should not be taxed because, or they say it should be because it causes obesity, and I don't think that's kind of really fair because not everybody has problems with obesity and gaining weight because they don't have problems with that kind of stuff, so it's not really fair. And I don't think that it should be taxed.
Resolved, junk food should be taxed. Prevention is better than cure, Desiderius Erasmus said. Prevention of death, diseases, and obesity is, in a way, a cure. Taxing junk food can prevent purchase, which in turn prevents consumption and further problems. Diet-related obesity, diabetes, and heart disease is the #1 health problem. And $150 million is spent on these every year. Americans consume about 20 teaspoons of sugar a day, 2 times the amount recommended for men and 3 times the amount recommended for women. And that can cause 1 in 3 kids to develop diabetes in their lifetime. Junk food can cause obesity. While it may be true that junk food isn't the only reason, it is a very big reason. And Americans spend about $110 billion on fast food every year. And now 1 in 3 adults and 1 in 5 kids are obese, and 79% of the world's population are pre-obese. Morgan Spurlock said, "I couldn't open up a magazine, you couldn't open up a newspaper, you couldn't turn on the TV without hearing about the obesity epidemic in America. This epidemic is not an illusion. It's a reality that 2.8 million people die from every year." Sonia Nishtar, co-chair of Commission Ending Childhood Obesity, says, "Obesity impacts a child's life. They face a wide range of barriers, including physical, psychological, and health consequences. Obesity really affects a kid's life."
Resolved, junk food should not be taxed. I'm going to start with a quote by Gandhi. He says, Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. We all have the right to make mistakes, and the government can't take that away from us. They can't take away that being obese is, in some cases, a mistake, and some people do consume too much, and it's their choice, it's the person's choice, not the government's. My first argument is putting taxes on junk food has hardly an effect on weight loss. A study called Cheap Donuts and Expensive Broccoli says that economic studies consistently show that taxes have hardly an effect on slowing weight gains. Studies show that BMI, which is body mass index, and will lower less than 1%, which is not even relevant and is unneeded, and it won't make any difference. My second argument is it's not just sugar causing obesity. The Australians started a tax called the Australian Paradox, which is a tax on junk food, and after a while of doing it, they have said that obesity levels in Australia have been rising over the past 30 years as sugar consumption has been falling. So here we have a real-life example and nothing has happened. So why would we just make another one and have absolutely no impact?
All right, at this time, you guys have 1 minute to confer on the rebuttal, decide your closing, and then we'll get started. You guys need to not talk to each other, and you guys need to knock it off too.
Seriously, guys.
I'm taking points off of your scores.
Too.
Okay, time's up. We are gonna start again on the con side. Audience, listen carefully to the rebuttals and then we'll vote.
They say taxing junk food leads to other diseases like diabetes and obesity, but it doesn't really affect that much when it comes to taxing it. Taxing junk food because it causes too much weight is not a good idea, because it's not very nice to people that are obese. And it also leads to more problems such as cross-border shopping, and it is not very good for it's not very good for the community. Said, because they've already tried it in Australia, and they said it does not.
My opponent said that it takes away your freedom. But wouldn't, if your friend was nearing a cliff, wouldn't you steer them away from that cliff so they wouldn't fall off? Or if your child's going to cross the street, you would hold their hand so they don't get hurt. Junk food is 8 times more addictive than heroin, so we need this tax to help us to become more healthy. Also, my opponent said that it didn't help in Australia. Well, just like personalities are different, countries are different too. So if it didn't work in Australia, there's still the possibility that it could work here. In conclusion, Americans spend billions of dollars on junk food, and this leads to 2/3 of the American population of adults and 1/3 of the kids to be obese, and this number is expected to rise. Clearly, what we are doing is not working. We need to take a step forward and follow George Bernard Shaw's words. He says, "Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything."
Alright, I have my rebuttal as well as a comment from her rebuttal. She says that freedom is helping someone as like your kid across the street and your friend stopping them from jumping off a cliff. Well, friends and family, as we should all know, is a lot closer than the government. I have friends and family that are close to me. I'm not really friends with people from the government. I personally am not friends with Obama. And my opponent also says that taxing junk food will decrease obesity, and it's a problem. And as Patrick Luciani says from the National Post, there is no evidence that health benefits have or ever will follow. It might cause healthier eating choices, but there's no proof of that, and why would we do something that has no proof? For my closing statement, junk food should not be taxed. BMI will be lowering less than 1%, which is absolutely useless. And in Australia, we have proof that it won't work. So why would we do it when it causes nothing?
Round of applause.